Oh no. Why? Not this. Let's look this up. No. Not this shit. It's from a U-break iFix. No. Oh god. What did you do? You raped the CPU heatsink. What is the meaning of this? Why is there copper showing? Why is this resistor soldered on so terribly? My god, even by my standards. What is this? What is this fuckery? Fuck shit. Ugh. Puke. Look at this. How do you do this to this little heatsink? Look at this poor little heatsink. Look at this. What did you do, you break iFix? Gross. Disgusting. This is why you don't send your computer to a franchise. Don't do it. Just say no to franchises in the repair business. They suck. How do you manage to do this to the heatsink? What was going through your mind? This is the best you can do. If you solder worse than me, you shouldn't be allowed to be in this business. I'm the worst solderer in this entire industry. You don't get to beat me. I'm sorry they hurt you, little MacBook. I'm sorry. It's okay now, MacBook. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to take good care of you. We're going to turn you back into a happy little MacBook. You're going to be a happy little MacBook that turns on and has a fan spinning. And you're going to have a green light on your charger again. So right now it's taking 65 milliamps but not doing anything. And we're going to try and figure out why it's taking 65 milliamps and not getting a light on its little charger. People have said that I should care about professionalism more than I do, but in my experience, almost all of those mall franchises, they just suck. They suck so badly. Like they put all of their money into the fancy schmancy looking store and the fancy schmancy looking desk and the fancy schmancy looking website and the branding and the colors on the sign matching the colors on the website, matching the colors on the brochures and blah de blah de blah. But then when it comes down to the actual offering services and having technicians that know what they're doing, and I'm not saying that not we do everything perfect. We screw things up all the time, but you know we do. But we try to, at the very least, not make it so widespread. Because there's this one other company that I'll let Jessa name if she decides that she fixes things for. And it's like, it's just a bunch, imagine a bunch of 16-year-old stoners running a repair business. And essentially that is their staff. Like, at least when we screw something up, it's somebody was trained, we go through, we sit next to them while they're putting things together, we look, we give pointers, all this. It's not like we hire you and, okay, there. Go on. Destroy boards. Oh, dear Jesus. What did you do, mofo? That poor little MacBook, I'm so sorry. We're going to make you a happy little MacBook again. Mwah. It's okay, little MacBook. It's okay. We're going to figure out what they did to you, okay? You're going to be all right. It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. All right, let's just open up a schematic for your little MacBook, get your medical history, and go from there. So this appears to be an 820-3476 model board. And we're just going to look up an 820-3476 board. And we're going to check where our PP3V42 circuit is, since that's required to get the one-wire circuit. First thing we need to do is check our PP3V42 circuit. And that's going to be located around U7090. So let's take a look around U7090. Now U7090 is going to create a rail PP3V42. So the first thing that I'm going to do is measure and see if PP3V42 is present. And look, smoke is coming out of the board. Yes. Great job, you break iFix. Great fucking job. Go open a burger joint or something if you're going to be a franchise. Go open a pizzeria. Open something where you're not going to be screwing up people's $2,000 hardware. So let's go over to the PP3V42 section. This is going to create PP3V42. I'm going to plug it in and see if PP3V42 is present. All right. We get the board on the desk. We have the multimeter in voltage mode. 1.16 volts. That's not 3.42 volts. So the first thing we're going to do here is see if we have a short circuit to ground. I put the multimeter in ohms mode. And what do you know? There's a 2 ohm short to ground. So that means something on the board is shorting PP3V42 underscore G3 hot to ground. Let's see if we can figure out what that is. Obviously, this resistor over here is getting warm because that's where the voltage and the inrush of PP3V42 passes through. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's the cause of our problem. Obviously, the input to PP3V42 is going to be hot. Similar to if you're working on an iPhone and you have a short circuit. Don't put it under a thermal camera and blame Tigris. That would be dumb. So, what do we have here? The PP3V42 regulator is, of course, getting warm, as is something right next to the SMC. So look, this is the SMC chip, and the SMC is 31 degrees. In the corner, we have something here that's 50 degrees. Now, there could be two possibilities here. Behind door number 1, the SMC is dead, and the part of the SMC that's dead is in the corner, in which case, we have a professional reballer. Say hi, Mark. Behind door number 2, there's probably a little capacitor in the corner on PP3V42 that's corroded, meaning that rather than track down the short circuit, this Genius Bar copy decided to replace the entire PP3V42 circuit when there was nothing wrong with it and scrape the heatsink instead of simply knock off one capacitor. I'm sure, even though it's a franchise, that that's not what happened. Even a franchise wouldn't do that. So let's take a look by the SMC and see if I'm correct. Was this needed? Was replacing this needed? Was soldering this terribly needed? Was scraping up this heatsink over here needed? Or was it just a single capacitor next to the goddamn SMC? You motherfuckers! Dude, open a fucking pizzeria. Open a wings joint. Open a flower shop. Don't destroy people's $2,000 hardware. That's the thing, you don't even need to put that capacitor back on. Let's get those pads exposed. One of those doesn't have pads anymore, but we don't need pads. Let me remove that little plastic piece so it'll be easier to wick my pad. And we're wicking. If Mark Schaefer's here from iPad Rehab, we're wicking.
That's a new move.
We're scraping and then we're wicking. Does this mimic the experience that you have when dealing with franchises at iPad Rehab?
Like, there's a really common capacitor that gets short during liquid damage in the iPhone 6, and a lot of franchises like to remove it using hot air, which then overheats the underfilled Wi-Fi chip and creates brand new shorts. And shorts in the 6S on main that are a single cap, or the 7 that are a single cap that are right next to the PMIC that they take off with hot air and re-hot PMIC.
Why do you think that franchises in general are worse than normal repair stores?
Yes.
If so, why? What about their structure makes them less capable than other independent repair? Why is this such a typical, unsurprising thing?
Because smaller shops tend to be run by hobbyists who are doing it because they are really interested in it, and franchises tend to just worry about volume and get whoever in there that can get things in and out.
So is it kind of like the Homer Simpson, Frank Grimes paradigm?
Yeah.
Where like Homer's an idiot, but he makes more money and has the hot wife and the genius daughter.
Uh-huh.
And the cushy job.
Yeah. You know you're in trouble if Louis Rossmann is making your solder joints look better.
Yeah. Worst solderer in the industry right here. And I'm going to make these joints look better. And I'm going to wick with a micro pencil. Oh, yes, Paul. I'm going to wick with a micro pencil. Paul is going to scream. If he's watching this, he's going to scream. Get a dual station! Don't wick with a micro pencil. Paul said that I deserve a dual station.
You do? Why do you not have a 203?
I don't think I've earned it. Look at that. Wicked with a micro pencil. And not even broken. Alright. Now we're going to make these resistors' little solder joints look happy again. Why is there so much excess solder on this resistor? We're going to make you look like a happy little board. No need for you to look this unhappy. There's rework by the Thunderbolt chip as well. Interesting. And see on the third large capacitor to the right over here before the flux melts it. See that? That's crap. That means that they were soldering when all the flux was gone. That's how you get those little Hershey's Kiss looking points sticking up out there. So even though this board was covered in flux, the ironic thing is that they did not use enough of it. Much better. All cleaned up, little board. Gonna make you happy again. Going to be a board that any MacBook owner would be proud of. I wouldn't be proud to own you, MacBook, because you're a MacBook. But if I were a MacBook owner, I would be proud to own you after this. All you needed was a little bit of love and tender, happy care. Tender, loving care. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Is there anything we can do about your heatsink and the raping that occurred to it? I'm afraid there's not much I can do there. I think what I could do is I could take I could do the Ricky Began trick. Ricky Began always used to take a Sharpie to the Sennheiser MD421 microphones to make them look good as new. So after he was done banging them out with a hammer, he would take the spots that he had banged out with the hammer and cover it with the Sharpie. And there we go. Nobody will ever notice. Good little MacBook. We can't remove your scars, but we can mask them. And now this little MacBook is ready to be a MacBook again. You wouldn't bring your MacBook to a franchise, would you? Nope. SendYourMacBook.com. That's where you'll send your MacBook if you don't want it to be abused. Where should people send their iPhones if they need their data back and they don't want it to be abused?
iPadRehab.com.
What does iPad Rehab do differently than a franchise? And what makes iPad Rehab worth sending your phone to if you only have one chance to get your data back?
We will actually recover the phone and not just render it a useless lump of metal.
How are you going to do that?
By finding the problem and solving it.
What's the difference between how you find the problem and solve it and how the mall shop finds the problem and solves it?
Me and Jessa use our brains when we troubleshoot problems.